fun to see you, Jerry.
I'm not. Mess. Never-ending mess. I hate this time of year. It's just all the gremlins. All the gremlins come out.
If you don't break 5 things to every one thing you fix, boy, you ain't no crab.
Had a giant eel today. Look at this thing. It's an absolute woo monster. Humongous. They are so slimy and slippery. But that's cool to see. There's some giant ones around. That's the future for the next couple years probably. He is absolute. Oh no. Ah. Look, there he is. That thing is huge. Probably weighs 2 pounds, I bet. Big giant eel. I gotta let Jason let him go. He wants to get a picture with him. Love them all things.
I won't judge you if you cry.
I'm ready. Oh, man.
Hey, CJ's gonna get your people. Noise has been bad?
Yeah, it's fine. Yeah. That means we quit soon.
They always say, never stop asking questions.
I'm pretty sure people do actually say, stop asking a bunch of questions.
Here in Maryland, we get roughly 1.5 2 foot of tide, something like that. We don't get a humongous swing. The only time we see bigger tide swings is either northwest wind blowing real hard, which is what we have today. That's typically a winter wind, blows real hard, it pushes the tide out the bay. Or if we get a real hard south wind for a couple days, it blows the tide in.
Mike always says,
Mike always says it's better being thought of as a fool than to open your mouth and remove all doubt.
Yes, there you go. That's a good one. Oh, Mike.
And you talk about a nice day, it's just absolutely beautiful out. It's supposed to blow a gale tomorrow and be super, super nasty. We'll try to get some footage tomorrow during this storm and all and see what happens. Talking about super high tides and blowing 20 to 30 east and a lot of rain and it's supposed to be real, real nasty. So who knows what's going to happen. Pulled 50 in a day the last couple days. Today we'll get at least 50 more, maybe 100. We'll see how rough it is. You didn't know that the transmission cooler needed sinks. The cooler basically rotted out. He ran a transmission out of oil that was running hard. It's a $10 part that costs you, $9 grand. It's an expensive learning lesson. But his whole debacle was just unfortunate. And at the very end of the season like that. Now his boat's not running right. Its gear ratio is completely wrong. The propeller he has on the boat. He's gonna have to get a new wheel and get all that. He said when he puts the boat in gear, it does like a mile an hour, which mine does like 5. His boat only does like 9 knots, like full throttle. I'm trying to go to my happy place. I don't want to be here. Hopefully we'll have the kiss of death today. I want to get that on video. The kiss of death. Sunfish, yeah. Bronco knows. He's been around long enough.
What's on the menu today?
Meatball sub.
I got myself a nice cheesesteak. Lettuce, tomato, mayonnaise, and onions. Non-traditional cheesesteak, but oh so good.
We do get some influence. If we get a bunch of rain, it'll raise the tide up too. But right now you can see the tide's way out. It's blown out to where some of the algae and grasses and stuff, macroalgae that's growing here, you can see it's exposed where this is typically always underwater. And then this will dry out probably. Some of it will dry out and die. And there's the first winter jelly we've caught here in the fall. You can see all them colors, all that purple, and definitely a different type of jelly. The other day we had a high tide that was up pretty far, and you can see here how far of a swing that is.
up the ramp here. We had a bunch of south wind the other day. It was, I think, almost 80 degrees, upper 70s the one day, which is, I mean, it happens, but it's not super typical for October. Like I always say, if you can't zip tie it, it ain't worth fixing. We're in the process of pulling out. We got a couple rows in today and took advantage of this nice day, starting to get pulled in this time of year. You just got to take advantage of the nicer days and do what you can. I'll tell you what, this water looks terrible. I don't know what's going on. It's like super dirty. It's weird. It was starting to get nice and green and color. We're working on pots, getting anodes put in them and getting them put away for the year. Ideally, you pull pots in with crabs in them instead of pulling them in empty. We pull them in empty, I'm just losing money going straight backwards. At least if you pull them in with some crabs in them, you can cut some of the hemorrhaging and the loss. Here's my favorite helper. One of the few.
I prefer deckhand. First mate? Yeah, that's even better.
Whoa, 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 don't go overstepping.
I am not no helper. I will quit right now.
You're a helper, what?
Yeah. What's the official title here? Not helper. Not helper.
Not helper. Hey, that works. It's not my helper.
I'm not helper.
Pots have aluminum anodes in them. These are the larger ones to start, so this is a brand new pot. Take and put a big aluminum anode in it, and then this year we'll put a smaller anode in it to get through next year. This helps with electrolysis and the breakdown of the pots. I think Luke's on there, but I don't see him. Late October can be anywhere from highs in the 40s and 50s to almost 80 degrees. We have, this time of year, we have a huge swing. There's Luke coming in there. Stop interrupting us! Leave it on!
Leave it on! Ready! Leave it on! I didn't touch it! I went Wednesday, I fished 3 rows and blew it up, locked the gear up. I was 7.5 miles away. I was almost to Colchester by the time they got me.
Just the swing of temperatures, that'll start affecting the crabs. These low tides, then you got less water in the creeks, so the water will cool down faster too. It gets cold tonight, then the water will start cooling down faster. That should help push some of these crabs out into the bay where they've been hiding in the rivers here.
Got back, I pulled the gear out that same night. The next morning I drove it to Chrisfield, swapped it for another gear, a different ratio, because that's the only one they could get. Brought it back, put the gear in the boat the next morning, and then realized that they gave me an angle output gear. So it was the identical gear with the wrong output angle. And I called them and they told me they put the wrong one on my truck. So I had to pull it back out of the boat, put it in the truck, drive it back down to Chrisfield, swapped it out, came back the next morning, I put it in. How do you spell Releif? Spell what?
Releif. R-E-L-E-I-F.
I'm gonna assume he's messing with me.
Well, it's working. Barely. I think we only got 2 more rows to fish.
But I had to try to find another propeller. I called playing hell.
Delaware, you said?
Yeah, I bought it off some guy on Facebook. He had it. It was literally sitting in his garden as a decoration.
Really?
And he had it on there for sale, like as a decoration. He said, make an offer. I offered him $300. He was like ecstatic. He was like, it was a laundry. He literally had it in his garden as a decoration. So,
wow. Hey, better blessed than good.
that's what I'm saying.
Well, it's definitely bad here. You can see from some of this footage here. I mean, I'm in the boat, tied up in the slip, and it's blowing a gale right now, and it's coming over. The tide's way up, coming over the break wall. It's really, really bad. Wind's supposed to lay down here this afternoon. I'm just hoping it lays down before these tides get even higher. They're talking about the highest possible tide being like this evening. So who knows? Stay tuned.
Should be all right. I'll just run her into the pier here. I'm gonna try to hit something, pick up some rope or something on the bottom and wrap a new wheel up here.
thanks for stopping by. Great content.
Yeah, no problem, you know. Hey, if you ain't breaking stuff on the daily, you ain't no fabber.
Raining sideways now and blowing at least 30. It's horrific. It is so bad. I'm kicking myself. Holy cow, them boys came by. Get to work! I'm hiding in the daggone porta potty. They drove the truck in here. It's like knee deep. Anyway, there's 3 files coming. I don't know if you got a chance to look at them or not, or you can use them today or not, but let me check on these guys.